was fucking off. Okay. Well, hello, Tyler. Nice shirt.
What's up, Ben? Are we matching?
We are a little matchy today.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Well, I know why. Do you know why?
I do, but they don't yet, so they're going to find out here in a second.
They're going to learn today.
Intro.
I'm just kidding. We have our own intro music. I don't have to do the freaking music in there. But thank you for tuning in. This is Ben and Tyler from America's Diesel Podcast with our special guests, the guys from DDC. We're going to introduce them a little bit, but we got to go through our spiel real fast here. If this is your first time listening, thank you for tuning in. You can find us on anywhere that you listen to podcasts by searching America's Diesel Podcast. That's Google, SoundCloud, Google Play, all the iTunes. All of those places you can find us by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You can also find us on the social medias, on the Instagrams, the communist TikToks, which I've pretty much abandoned.
You pretty much abandoned
I've pretty much abandoned that one. And the Facebooks by searching America's Diesel Podcast. If you have a question on an episode or want to start a discussion, YouTube is honestly probably the best place to do that. We have a pretty lively comment section on there with our resident fact checker, Jim Lawrence, who is not on payroll, but sure as hell puts the effort in.
Might be at some point.
He might be at some point. He might be sending us fake invoices like the Facebook guy did. And reviews. Reviews are very important. Tyler, hit them.
Oh, yes. We need to keep those reviews coming. We only accept 5-star reviews, by the way. Screenshot your review on any of the platforms that Ben mentioned earlier. Send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure to include a picture of your truck and an address that we can send an awesome sticker to. It looks just like our background on the logo on our awesome Grizzly cups that are for sale.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's our go-to word for everything. And lastly, if you do need to purchase some diesel parts for your truck, especially some wheels for your dually, which you're going to find out more about later, you can go to dieselpowerproducts.com. And if you are listening to this, it would help us out a bunch if you throw a podcast in the notes section. You get absolutely nothing.
That's not a very good pitch.
I know, but it helps me track, and it helps us realize that people that listen to this are actually buying shit.
Yeah.
It helps.
It makes us look better.
It makes us look a hell of a lot better. I do greatly appreciate a lot of people have actually been putting that in there.
Yeah.
And have actually been calling. I had a few people call in to let me know, hey, I didn't know I was supposed to put podcast in there. And I'll go back and I find them like, shit, man, you placed like 7 orders. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So we greatly appreciate that kind of stuff. And
yeah, you know how I'm helping out with the core department now, you know?
Yeah.
So every once in a while, this is like once a month, I'll get someone returning a core. It's like, is Tyler? The podcast? I'm like, yeah. What's up? It's like, hey, man, I got a question.
Yeah. What the hell are you doing in the core department? You lost?
Yeah,
I wandered in here and just logged in.
I do everything.
Yeah, we do everything right here. All right. Let's get this show on the road. So you may hear some other people chime in just a moment, but we have Ryan, Blake, and Steve from Dually Design. Is it Dually Design Co., Dually Design Company?
Yeah, Dually Design Co. is how we're spelling it because we can't figure out how to spell company.
And this is why I love these guys.
Yeah.
We keep it simple, but very straightforward.
Yeah, we graduated the same year of English class.
Yeah, totally. So let's get through some introductions real quick here. I don't know who wants to go first or whatnot, but we got 3 dudes on the phone here. Now I want to get a quick introduction of who you are.
All right, so I'm Blake. I've been in the wheel industry since Moby Dick was a minnow, and I'm still doing it. Steve, how about that? Is that good enough? You guys want a little bit more? I mean,
no, that's perfect. You're doing great.
That's all I know. You can hand me a broom. I don't know which end of the broom works, but I can tell you a set of tires and wheels.
So, and that was Steve, right?
That was Blake.
That was Blake. Okay, Steve, you got big shoes to fill. Go for it,
man. Kind of the same. Still off-road industry. Been in it ever since. I'm the resident old guy. I'm 2 years older than these other whippersnappers, so I'm the old guy. But been around for quite a while in the off-road industry. And
since when? Can you tell them when? I said Moby Dick was a minnow. I think you have a year. Wasn't it like 1978 when you started in this thing or something?
No, I actually started. I'm gonna say it was 93.
Lies.
But yeah, I think I met Ryan probably 94. 7 or 5? Okay. And then met up with Blake, I think, in about 05.
Probably 05, yeah.
And then the 3 of us, well, me and Ryan worked together for a couple different places beforehand. Back when Dick CPAC had retail stores. I was out in Arizona. He was out here in California. both of us were over at 4 Parts for a little while as well. And then met Blake when he was at a
when both Ryan and I were at Weld Racing.
Yeah. And we got together because of a project from a ex-NFL football guy. And then the three of us worked together, I think in 12 is when it started.
Ryan and I started 2009, right, Ryan? At least at BMF. Weld Racing, we were together until 2000 whatever, and then 2009 we started BMF. And then Steve came on 2012 with BMF.
Mm-hmm.
And then I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
No, that was about it.
We've pretty much been together ever since.
And I don't even need to do an introduction because Steve did it for me.
So interesting story about Ryan real quick. I was at, I had met Ryan before, like via emails and phones and stuff, but I totally had him mixed up with the wrong person the first time I actually laid eyes on that beautiful man.
Dear.
Do you remember that, Ryan?
First time you laid eyes or first time you emailed me?
No, first time I laid eyes on you, for some reason I thought you were Paul Rutledge.
Oh, yeah, I get that every now and again.
It was very awkward because I am a huge fan of both of you, and we were in the same house. And I was like, "It's Paul Rutledge." I'm like by myself. I have no friends there. Like they're all
Hey,
industry
Paul.
people, but like, is that Paul? Nah, it's not Paul.
You're like,
That Ryan?
oh,
I
my
don't know.
OBS brother's here.
Yeah, that's me. Okay, let's get into the company real quick here. So DDC, what's the goal, and what were you guys like really trying to? Because in my opinion, you guys have done a really good job as far as unmasking and trying to like make dually wheels that are cool, that are not confusing.
That was the whole point, right? And this is Blake talking, by the way. So for me, only being in the wheel industry for most of my life, that's all I understand. And years ago, I had this idea, right? When all of the bigger guys, they were taking semi wheels and putting adapters on them, and they were having to turn them down, and you're bolting all this crazy shit to your truck. Years ago, I'm like, man, I don't like anything about this, and I think we should come up with a new idea. Well, it just took a few years to do that. And so when I finally, we've been working for some other people, and I said, that's it, guys. We got to get together. We got to bring the band back together, put all this stuff, in front of everybody, and make the right dually wheel. Make it. But one thing that we all liked, sorry if I'm jumping around, is the fact of that semi look, right? We all love the way that all these companies made it look right on a dually truck. You put it on there, and the truck just looks pissed off, right? They just look angry. Mm-hmm. But I hated on how it had to attach and all of this shit you had to do to it. So we designed something different. We designed it to make it really super simple, to make it look like it needs all of that stuff, but it doesn't. So really at the end of it, our kind of our tagline are no spacers, no adapters, no plastic, no bullshit. That's simple.
Yeah, that makes it really easy. And I can tell you, for being on this side of the counter, anytime you make it easy for a customer to make a decision and want to get your product, you're going to have a better time.
Yeah, absolutely. And even coming from the side of actually adding products to our site, just mimicking kind of your guys' site on how you guys have put it together. Just as far as doing wheels, it was the funnest time I ever had adding wheels to a website, just because of the way you guys have made it. You just made it easy. You took the guesswork out of customers picking sizes and offsets and all this other, things that half the people don't even understand anyways. So yeah,
it's quite honestly, it's actually going to get better with this new website that we're gonna launch, with a new design that I think some people have seen probably on Instagram and social media. Ryan does a fantastic job on all that stuff, but with a new website, it's going to be even easier. The whole point is to not have these guys call up and have to try to figure out offsets and where's it going to fit and what tires should I use and what's my load carrying capacity. You want to take all of that away from you and just say, listen, here's the one part number for your entire kit. This is what works on your truck with the tire up to this wide, and you're good to go. You're down the road, more load carrying capacity than any of our competitors. I can safely say that for F350, all of them, all the dualies out there right now, including up to F550 and Ram 5500, that none of our competitors can even. They don't have enough load carrying capacity for it. I know I'm rambling right now. I'm just trying to say that the customer doesn't have to worry about it. We've over-engineered this wheel. We've overthought it, so you don't have to. So nobody has to.
Yeah.
Well, because everybody uses their truck exactly to the manufacturer's specs, right? Nobody overloads anything ever. Ever.
That never happened.
Well,
Not once.
it's really cool having you guys do that on like the 450s and 550s and the cabin chassis trucks because they're becoming a lot more popular as people are starting to realize they need to move more weight, and there's just no options that are like easy for someone to put on there. And we can all I'll agree with this 10 times out of 10. A new wheel and tire package is one of the single best things you can do to a truck to just change the overall look and just the overall feel of it, like how it makes it feel in your pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Much to your point, Ben. That's the thing about all our packages. They'll fit stock, leveled, lifted, and all the popular tire manufacturers have all the right sizes, whether you're stock, leveled, or lifted. And that truly is one of the first things most people do. Put on some tires and wheels.
yeah, I super dig it. And I know we're going on and on about how easy it is to buy, but like there's nothing makes your blood run cold faster on a phone call when somebody calls in. They're like, I need this spec, this spec, this spec. Well, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm getting ready to drop
Yeah,
$5,000.
is this going to fit? I'm looking for these tires. Is this going to work with these? Do I need like I remember that one dude, the Bruce's truck that we got some dually wheels for it. We had to put a spacer in between
I hated that.
the two rear wheels for the tires to fit. It just didn't, it didn't go together. And again, your guys make it so easy with you get inner rears, outers, lug nuts, everything that you need, which is that's just awesome for a wheel company to offer.
And even more so with the guys that are, I mean, you have a dually, so I assume you're towing, or
Yeah.
at least using your truck like a truck.
Right.
Well, you never know nowadays, but
Yeah.
and especially like the cabin chassis guys, you have a truck that you're using to work. You can't afford downtime. All of a sudden, you now take this truck that's built to hold a shit ton of weight. You throw a spacer in there. You have an issue with the tire.
Yeah.
You try and go to a shop, and I've seen it, even myself working in tire shops before. If it's got a spacer, they won't even touch it. They're like, nope, nope, sorry, man. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna do it. You can't even like change the wheel up. Nope, you can touch it. You're on your own, bud.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, one of the largest tire chains in the country, there's certain tires they won't mount on dually wheels because of the width specifications. They won't put spacers in between. There's not a spacer. And I'm speaking about Discount Tire / America's Tire. They will not touch a spacer, right? So much to your point, and that was the whole reason to do all of this. Not only that, when you've got a bobcat or a backhoe sitting on the trailer, you want to rely on some 1/4-inch spacer driving down the road just because the lug nuts are tight. I mean, that was my whole thing, right? And I think all three of our things, like it doesn't feel right. It doesn't even seem right when these guys are having to do all of this. So again, to repeat myself, let's just eliminate it and make the right offsets where the right tires can fit.
Yeah, and
That's the thing too. Is if something does go wrong, who do you blame? The wheel guy, the adapter guy, the spacer guy, the tire guy. Who do you blame?
yeah.
Right? So.
And the whole time you're pissed off and trying to blame people, you're not making money because you're not getting to the job.
You're still trying to figure out how to fix it.
It's just insult to injury.
Right.
Oh man. Okay, so let's get into a little bit. Steve, what's your favorite band?
Well, there you go.
Gosh, that's a tough one.
Jesus, I think all of them have died at this stage based on
You
Yeah, I
like
guess
a
it
you
depends on
a
the
Beethoven
mood,
guy?
man.
Sound live?
Well, say something, because you know what I'm going to say. I think everybody knows what I'm going to say.
Well, heck yeah. I'm probably, I don't know, man. I'm probably like most of the time, maybe like, I don't know, maybe some Disturbed. Sometimes some Slightly Stupid. I don't know. It kind of all over the
Slightly
place.
stupid. Are you like South? Are you Southern California born and bred, Steve?
No, not even a little bit.
Huh.
So I was a transplant in like '99. Been here a long time, and fixing to get out of here. But
It's soon as possible.
yeah, couldn't come quick enough.
Yeah, I made my escape in 2014. It was
Did you?
totally worth it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Blake,
working on
do you want to tell us your favorite band?
But Blake or Ryan?
Blake.
Well, there is only one band that's ever existed. And there's only one band that's a real band, and it's the greatest band ever to walk the face of this planet, and that band is Van Halen.
Okay, I can respect that. I do enjoy myself some Van Halen, I will say.
Everything else is just noise. It's fake bullshit noise. There's only one guitarist that's ever walked the face of this planet, and now he's gone, and it fucking kills me.
Well, I appreciate your dedication and conviction. I'm probably gonna listen to some Van Halen on the way home now because I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
It's like my dad just yelled at me. He's
I know.
like, "Get back in line! Listen to good music, you punk!"
There's only one band.
We can, you guys can do the intro and outro to a little eruption. That
Yeah.
we'll top it off nicely. I'll make it quick. Mine's Bob Marley, man. Always has been, always will be. But I like rock and roll. I like punk. Yeah, just all genres, man.
Nice. My current guilty pleasure, which came on my Pandora over the weekend because I did a whole bunch of driving this weekend.
Yeah.
You guys are probably gonna all hate me.
Oh God.
There we go.
You know, I haven't listened to it in a long freaking time, and it came on. I was like, I'm letting it play
band?
through.
What band? Is it?
The Backstreet Boys?
You've already shocked me enough with your Honda Element freaking confession the last episode. So
Oh, it was
I'm gonna be onto something here.
it was Kesha.
Keisha.
Wow, dude.
Kesha. Yeah, and I had to let it play through, and I was like, you know what? It's like I'm back in the clubs in 2011. It's good times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are much younger than we are,
Yep.
for sure.
I'm not gonna deny that one.
I was going to say the same thing, man.
Well, hey, I have a couple of young teenage daughters. At the time, Kesha was. Now those teenage daughters have children.
Yeah. Grandpa.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I also listened to Injustice for All twice this weekend.
There you go. That helps a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Tyler,
What?
what's your favorite band?
I don't really have a favorite. I listen to I'm a country music fan, so I've been listening to you listen to what I got going on in my office. It's usually a mix of, I got some Waylon, you got some Hank, you got some a little bit of everybody, I
How
don't
about
really
the
have
Kentucky Headhunters?
I don't,
Come on now.
I don't know.
Don't lie. Don't act. You don't get to lie to kick it,
No,
Tyler.
no, I'm not. I'll be honest with you, and Ben knows this because I don't really pay attention to that kind of shit. Like if I hear a good song that I like I'll be like, oh, that's a great song, but then I'll never remember who sang it or what album it was. I'll just hear it again and go, oh yeah, that's a great song.
Thanks, Pandora.
Yeah, thanks.
They're
So
pretty old school, so they're not going to be any.
I'm sure I've
anything.
listened to it, but I probably just couldn't name oh, that's that band,
The
except for the main ones.
the country song that got me this weekend a couple of times. Every time I hear it, I always think of myself why haven't I listened to this more? Daddy's Cup by was that the drive-in truckers?
I think I know
Something
what
like
song
that?
you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know why that song just gets me going.
How so?
I don't know. It makes me want to go race some cars.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
Fucking put people into a wall or something.
Well, I don't know. You gotta be careful with some of those country songs.
Yeah, we were walking on eggshells there for a minute. Didn't know exactly where we wanted to go.
Ben sometimes goes into a dark spiral down a really deep, dark hole.
It's my talent.
It might start with country music. I don't know if he knows that, but it might start there.
Okay, so the three of you, who does what at DDC?
Man,
Gee, well, no, Blake doesn't do a damn thing. Steve and Ryan do everything else. Steve and Ryan, they run all the sales, they run all the money, and as you can probably tell so far on this podcast, the only thing I know how to run are my two lips.
but that's quite the opposite. Yeah, we all have a hand in a lot of things, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any brains behind anything in particular, but
Well, I mean, so when I go on your guys' site and I look at your guys' wheel styles that you have, there's, obviously you guys are expanding. You guys just sent us what do they call it? The hole, yeah, which is honestly, all of your guys' wheels are a great looking wheel.
That's my favorite.
And which I like about a wheel website is where you don't have 300 options of wheels and you're like, nope, yep, nope. Mm-hmm. The wheel designs you guys have are great. So who picks that? Who decides that?
We all three pick it, but we have a mentality that's a little different probably than most wheel companies. It's kind of like the In-N-Out Burger mentality. Not that we're trying to take anything from them, but if you offer everything to everybody, imagine the size of the menu. I mean, it's just crazy, right? So
Right.
It's super simple. They're pretty classic designs. And if you offer too much, then we just can't be everything for everybody. We'll have to start building wheels for Tahoes and smart cars and Mini Coopers, and
Right.
that's just not what we're here for, right? We're here for the guy that's using his dually. He's not putting 28s and driving it down at a dirt road and crying because it got dirty. This guy's using his truck, and he doesn't need all that blingy bullshit. He just wants it to look good and work. That's where it comes from. But the design wise, to answer your question, it's all three of us.
Okay.
We all three go back and forth. We draw on a napkin and then an iPad, and then we start tweaking it from there, and then we all agree, and then we make it.
Yeah, we reached out to a lot of good, close customers we worked with over the years, and they give us feedback. And yeah, I mean, I think it'd be, talking about sizes and stuff, like you said, 26s, Blake. I don't know, maybe sometime down the road in some other fashion, but like right now we're doing 20s and 22s, maybe 24s next year. But anything past that, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I've always, I think 22s are like, for me, that's like the biggest ever that I would ever think of putting on a truck that I actually use.
Yeah, single or dual.
Anything bigger than that to me is like you're just show carring. You're just. I mean, that's just me. So I think you guys hit the nail on the head as far as the sizing goes. Yeah, you know what? I
know where you're going with this.
I was looking for a dually, okay, and I had this whole plan in my head. I'm like, I already know what wheels I'm running. Like, I just need to find the truck. Well, I couldn't find a dually, like, to save my life. I couldn't even find a 3500. So I ended up with a 2021 Ram 2500. So have you guys thought about SRW DC? Same designs, single rear wheel, just looking fly with some good wheels. Because then because right now I have no idea. I even asked Ben, like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the truck. But like, I already had my mindset with a dually, and then my dreams got crushed. So that was awesome.
Well, we might be able to make a special exception for you. And here's a special exception. We are currently right now in the works of making super single designs, specifically or super single sizes, specifically 22 by 11, that are the same exact designs, so guys can run a single wheel up in the front if they want. Which means for your truck, you would just buy 4 fronts, what a dually would run, and then you would have 4 22 by 11s running on your truck.
I love you.
So it wouldn't be an SRW DC, but it would be a DDC super singles. Yeah, super singles that you can run, and I'm assuming Ryan is pretty sure of this. So is Steve, that we're going to get quite a few single wheel guys that want to run this style wheel on the truck. Again, that it's not just going to be a 2211. It's also going to look like it's got the big, large 10 lug with the adapters and the whole thing. So it's going to have that big bolt pattern in it, but still going to be direct bolt, just like all the dually stuff is.
Well, and most super single tires, like what height are those? Are those like about a 37?
Yeah, same, right? You got to match them, right? They've got to be the same exact diameter, front and rear, especially on a 4-wheel drive. So if you're running 37s on the back, guy or 295/60, for example, he's going to run that same exact tire on the front wheel.
Dude,
That truck, your truck
pretty
is just
sick.
like absolute beef rolling down the road
with the 4-seater on top. Like,
yeah, with
that'd be pretty wicked.
3-inch lift on it. Yeah. That would just.
How about you get the first ones?
Ooh. Oh man,
Tyler's pants just got real tight.
I gotta go use the bathroom real quick.
The only thing that comes to my head with that is just
Ryan will
beef.
make it happen, and he'll post about it and the whole nine, and you'll be the guinea pig. How about that?
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I think I'm going to hand deliver them with white gloves on. Put them on your truck.
I'll go pick him up. Just give me an address.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I will say, of your designs though, the whole is my new favorite. Like I could take both of them. Like there's the 10 in the aftermath, and I'm like an Alcoa guy.
Well, it's like a better looking. It's a better looking Alcoa.
That's exactly what it is. It takes all the classic whole style wheel and just makes it better.
Yeah.
And it makes me mad that my single cab is not a dually.
Yeah.
Because my single cab was like fucking sick with that.
Didn't you have a dually rear axle for that?
Dually front.
Oh, dually front.
The adapters on the front, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if I need that in my life right now.
Don't need none.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ryan,
Yes.
you and I were messaging a little bit ago because one of the last episodes that aired, I had an epiphany about offsets, and apparently I I may have ruffled some, not with you, but like the comment section was decent. They're like, "Oh, you're an idiot." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't win everything."
I wouldn't say that. All you were doing was you were measuring from lip to lip instead of bead seat to bead seat as far as the width of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Overall width.
Yeah,
But it was a good episode. I listened to the whole thing.
well, that's good. I did too, but I'm a narcissistic asshole. I like to hear myself talk. we share, me and Tyler share a wall, and I'm sure he's like, anytime in between a song, he can hear himself in my office or myself.
Like, what's going on in there? Like, you're listening to us? Like, freaking freak.
Yeah. Weirdo. All right, we're gonna start talking about past rigs. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, do you have a rig that was like the one that got away? And this is like gas, diesel, anything, because obviously Ryan knows this. I don't know if Blake or Steve listens to us. I'm not sure if Steve even knows what the internet is yet. So I'm sure he'll find us eventually. Maybe we'll come out on vinyl, an 8-track, or what do they call it, stylophone or something like that? Whatever the hell it is. I don't know. We'll come do a lot. I'm sorry, Steve. I never met you. You're going to punch me in the face next time you see me.
Yeah, you go get SEMA?
Not anymore. No, but a lot of stuff we talk about, it's obviously a diesel central, but not every diesel guy is just diesel. Most of us were motorheads from the get-go.
Yeah.
And so we do talk about a lot of other stuff. So it doesn't have to be necessarily like, oh, that was the diesel truck that got it. What was the rig, the vehicle, the whatever? Just oh, man. It was you bitter at the end.
You're asking me. I don't really have one I've been too bitter about, man. I mean, last truck I had before we started the company was an F-150, 2015, Eco. It was a cool truck. Had a ton of problems at about 35,000, but yeah, I mean, it was a cool truck,
Well, that was not the answer I was looking for. Blake, you want to try to do
failed.
something better?
Well, I was just going to tell you guys, if you ask Steve that question or me that question, you might want to buckle up. Yeah, Ryan, he just loves everything. The guy's so fucking nice. Everything in the world's a great to him, and he's not ever disappointed. And Steve and I are some pretty angry old individuals.
Well, that's probably why we and Ryan became friends almost immediately when we first met, because he loves everything. And I thought he was the wrong person, so everything worked out. All right, so
I think Ryan had a really cool Toyota with Ivan Stewart fenders and stuff on it. It was a pretty badass little Toyota that Ryan used to drive back in the day.
okay.
I think I missed that one the most for you, Ryan.
Missing the first part.
I can see why this partnership works so well. You're missing stuff for him. That's brotherhood.
Fantastic.
Like, Ben, I miss your old excursion for you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So do I.
Maybe these wheels should have been BBC, should have been ball busting central, something like that.
Okay, well, all right. Well, let's do Blake first. Blake, you got the one that got away?
I have two of them. Maybe actually I have a lot more than that, but my number one favorite of all time, a 1968 Oldsmobile Cutlass.
My dad's got a 1972 Cutlass that he. Yeah, that's his little
Totally
baby.
different rear quarter panels, totally
Yep.
different growing from the 72 to 68. But
Yeah.
and then the second one would be a 1969 GTO Judge. Those are the two.
I actually told a story about a 1969 Judge that I that's like when I was in middle school to high school. My buddy's uncle had one that he bought, carousel. I think they call it carousel red, but it was pretty much orange.
Yeah.
Beautiful car, and we drag raced in that car. I was in the Chevelle though, but yeah, that's a badass car.
Beautiful car.
Yeah, they are.
And 68s I don't like, and 70s I don't like. 69 is the way to go for that particular Judge. All right, what do you got, Steve? What's yours? Here we go. You ready?
I don't know. I've got a lot.
Is it like a Fiat?
I was going to say the Wright Brothers airplane, but whatever.
I don't have to fuel it with coal. Did it make some steam? How did it work out?
I had a pretty badass 83 Chevy short box, 383, swapped out axles, corporate 14 in the rear, 60 up front. It was a pretty badass truck. I didn't want to get rid of that one, but and
Life got in the way.
Yep, had to buy a house. So that was my down payment of my very first house. So sold that one. That's probably the biggest one.
What was your first house like? 60 grand or what?
Hey, it was Arizona back in the 90s, so let's think about very far.
You meant the 60s, didn't you? Yeah.
Steve's like, I netted $500,000 off it.
Right. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to be so anticlimactic about vehicles I had. I heard you guys on the Yoda. Sorry, I had to step away for a moment. But yes, you see, that Yoda was pretty cool back in the day, but I kind of forgot about it.
It would have been funnier if Ryan said like a 1994 VW Golf or something. That would have been hilarious.
I had an 84 Vanagon where you could roll, open up the side door, and there's a Bob Marley tapestry. And
The tapestry.
I think we're seeing a pattern here. Dude's driving around a Volkswagen van, and his favorite band is Bob Marley. Did somebody smoke a little bit of the wacky tobacco in there?
No, I mean, Foley was one of my buddies in high school, so.
Gosh, we should have regular podcasts with you guys. You guys are hilarious.
Just gotta make sure we're not in the same room.
Based on Ryan's youth, he's had his fair share of probably pot plants in his house. Maybe even in his Volkswagen. He probably grew when he drove down the road.
I don't know about to that extent, but okay, we'll go with it.
Sorry, guys. We just, like I said, we just bust each other's balls all the time.
You're fine.
What do you think me and Tyler do? Like
Yeah.
half our relationship
Yeah.
is just talking shit to each other.
Yeah, we don't talk to each other all week, and then Wednesday comes around, and we just got to get everything out.
Just get bottled up. Got to get rid of it. Yep.
Yeah, just unload. It's freaking magical. Oh my gosh.
We're heading to SEMA tomorrow. SEMA 2021.
I've
Are
seen
you going to
some.
wear your mask?
Yeah, I've seen some posts from people that have been arriving. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's SEMA. Glad to be here." It feels weird. I think
Yeah.
the vibe's off. Vibe check bad.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna feel weird. I'm not gonna want to be around people. It's gonna be weird for me, but
I don't want to say anything bad about SEMA because the current administration will probably come after me, so I'll just hold my tongue.
Yeah, they're great. We love them.
They'll cancel the podcast.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it. Try it.
Come at me, bro. I'll take that.
Bad
fire.
press is good press, right?
Yeah. Put me on the
No,
podium. I'll
but
make
we
a
have,
speech.
we have some good customers to see, and it'll be a good handful of days for sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm
every
sure.
time I got to SEMA, it's been like the first like 2 days are good, and then it's like, well, I got to keep walking, and then you just like figure out like there's been like twice where I was walking around and I'm like, where am I? I've never been here. How did I get back here? Like, how do I get out?
I didn't realize till me
the
and
one
Kyle
with
were
the
there.
boots funk and you lost your direction.
Oh gosh, I ended up in like some paint section of like not even in our industry. Like, how do I get out of here?
Like, I'm too afraid to ask.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking around. Where's the BDS booth? They got beer.
Yeah. And you keep thinking like, and the place is so freaking big that you keep thinking like, oh, I'll just kind of go around the horn and eventually I'll come back over. You know, you keep walking like, am I still in Nevada?
Yeah,
What the hell happened?
right.
Yeah, not until me and Kyle were in the airport on the way home that I realized that I completely missed an entire color section of the map.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kyle was like, "Did you make it to the blue section?" I'm like, "What's in the blue
The
section?
what?
What's in the blue section?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh,
did I tell you about the first
I missed
time?
it.
The first time we went to SEMA with Brian and Cooper, and then remember our old computer guy Meckel?
yeah."
So I like show up last, and I go in the hotel room, and I'm like sleeping on the floor, and right next to where I'm sleeping on the floor is Meckel's rollerblades. He brought rollerblades to SEMA.
I mean, the
Wow.
effective,
Like I was like,
Effect-
whose are
effectiveness
these?
through the roof. Coolness, manliness, like -10.
That's one way to see every booth, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just rollerblade right by.
There's one way to not get talked to.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
just skating on by.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That guy, you can hand him a piece of candy and say, "Good boy, have fun."
Yeah.
Just keep going down the road.
Or
You know what the hardest part about rollerblading is?
I know the answer.
I got a joke coming.
Telling your dad you're gay.
That takes me back. That's a good one.
No, no, Steve, was
Yeah,
that
that's
a
an old
joke?
one. That's an old one. I know 2 jokes.
All right, so I want to let the listeners in on a little thing here. So obviously, DDC's on the podcast. You probably heard the ad that ran sometime during this. We've talked about before how we are, growing the podcast, and this is actually the first phone interview that we've done on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which is pretty rad. So thank you for being our inaugural run at this. I appreciate you guys being on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm excited to have more. I'm also I want to say thank you to you guys for sponsoring the podcast, because that is one of the things that helps us move forward and try and do bigger and cooler and better things. Like, we actually have a guy in here that his job is to make sure that the podcast doesn't screw up.
And he's got that clippy clappy thing.
Yeah, and a permanent marker. and he can listen. He's not just on his phone or something like that. We're making moves, and it's because of having badass sponsors. So again, this is my portion to give you guys a little bit of a double high five, if you will.
Yeah.
But I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Is that like he's holding the prompt card like you're Ron Burgundy, he's about to cut you off kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Sorry, who put a question mark at the end?
He'll read everything. But the cool thing about this is we're actually going to be doing this once a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully more.
So hopefully people will call in and tell us what kind of jokes they want us to hear, what other silly things they want us to bust each other's balls about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is, we've talked about before and with other episodes as well, but if you have questions on this particular episode that pertain to DDC or any of the three guys we're talking about or talking to right now, YouTube is one of the best places as far as like our comment section to kind of have that conversation. And because we are going to be checking in once a quarter for 4 quarters, that's a year, that we can actually, hopefully dive deep into some cool, wheel stuff, especially dually stuff. And be in touch with the guys, because I think dually wheels are one of you see them, you like them, and you're like, I don't know what any of that means.
Right.
It's terrifying.
Well, until you go to, DDC's website or our website to go purchase yourself a set of wheels, and you find out how easy it actually is.
Yeah, it tells you what truck it is.
Yeah. It has a year, make, and
That was
model.
the whole point, right? Just make it easy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you guys have done a fantastic job. Like I said, I think I added your guys' entire line to our website, and it was honestly one of those lines where it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to add because of how you guys made it, and it's as far as front and back end side of the industry, I really appreciate it, and it's awesome.
Well, hopefully we can keep it going, especially with the new super single stuff coming in, and we can continue to make it simple. Obviously, we're going to throw a little wrench in the spokes there by giving multiple options for the same truck now, in terms of you want dually wheels on the rear and regular wheels, non-dually wheels on the front. But we're still going to work awful hard to make it real simple, where you can just click one button or ask one question, you'll get exactly what you need.
Yeah. One of the things that always cracks me up is sometimes we get someone who'll call in and they'll be asking all these questions. Like, no, you don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Hit add to cart.
Yeah, just you're there. Like you
Just hit it.
Stop worrying. It's the right. Well, I don't know if it's what year's your truck? It falls in between that category. That's the right one.
Listen, sir, I'm going to add it for you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's DDC. They got you covered.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the same thing happens to us. A lot of guys call and they'll say, "Hey, what's your offset?" And we obviously don't want to be rude to anybody, but we say, it's the offsets really isn't relative when it comes to dually. We're all used to offsets all these years for single wheel trucks, and people say, "Hey, it's a negative 25 or a negative 41 or whatever the offset is." We're used to hearing that, but when somebody calls and wants to know that on dually, it's so different. I mean, it's anywhere from 100 to 250, right? And some of that's positive and some of it's negative, so it doesn't really make any sense. The first question we say is, well, what size tire do you want to run? That's going to be the best question for you. And the offsets, especially in dually, they don't really help.
Yeah.
Right? I had a guy call that, and I don't even know if I should bring this up, but why not? We've been busting each other's balls. I may as well bust this guy's balls, because I'm pretty sure he's never going to buy DDC after being on the phone with me.
You have the floor, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy calls up, and he was very adamant, and maybe he's listening. If he is, I'm sure you're still pissed off, and so am I. So don't buy DDC. Anyway, this guy calls up, and he was really adamant. He had to know the offsets, and we were nice and going back and forth, and a lot of emails, and I finally said, "Hey, let's just get on the phone." And this guy, he started out pretty rough with me, and I won't give you all the details, but he basically said, I've got 3 math degrees and this doesn't make any sense to me. And I said, well, I'm sorry, buddy, I didn't finish the 10th grade and it makes sense to me. So maybe you shouldn't buy DDC wheels. And he said, I don't like your attitude. And I said, I don't like yours. And that was the end of that. So, we tried really hard is what I'm getting at. And he just wouldn't accept the fact that, hey, they're going to fit on your truck. We've done all the research. I promise you, we've done all the work, all the test fits, probably more than anybody else has in the dually world. I promise you they'll work. And if they didn't, we probably wouldn't have been selling wheels for the last 2.5 years and having, people like yourself and other people that can't wait to get them and see how easy it is just to bolt on your truck.
And we've got all 3 of them, right? We've got a GM, we've got a Ram, and we've got a Ford. The 3 of us have those 3 trucks, so we've got it covered. We know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah, the common sense factor in there is that last thing you said. Well, we've been doing this. We've been selling these and putting these on the exact truck you're talking about, with the exact tire you're talking about, with no issues. So unless you have some random unicorn truck that's completely different than everything we've ever seen before, in which case, no matter how much math you're going to do, it's not going to matter because it's a unicorn.
Yeah. Listen, sir. I've fucking done this.
Yeah. And, when he said he had his 3 math degrees, I'm not sure where he got them. It was no place that taught him. I mean, let's be honest. At the end of the day, do people really want to know what the offset of their dually wheel is? Of course they don't. They do not. They just want to know, can I bolt it on? Is it safe? Can I tow a trailer, put my kids in the car, and is everything going to be good? That's what they want to know, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's the stance going to look? Give me the right tire size for what I'm after.
Yep.
I remember being in an airport, and I know Blake doesn't want to go too deep in that rabbit hole either, but I'm in the airport, and Blake calls me like, what is going on? Because him and I are chatting with the same guy. I'm doing our social media. Blake's talking to him through email. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
On all fronts.
Yeah. We'll be nice and say that guy was a peach. He was an absolute peach.
He's a peach.
He's a juicy little peach. All right, so we're going to get ready to wrap this thing up here. If people want to find you guys, obviously we prefer you buy it through us because we're Diesel Power Products and we run the podcast and stuff like that. But this is also about making sure that people know where to find you guys and your wheels. If they want to see your website, how do they get there? What is it?
Ryan, that's all you.
You got it, buddy. The website's really easy. It's ddcwheels.com. And we are getting ready to actually kick off our new website. I know we've been talking about it for a while in this episode, but you can go to the current platform of ddcwheels.com. It's just going to be way more intuitive, and like some of the stuff Blake touched on earlier, it's going to be way more interactive for the end user, even the shop to kind of log in and look at it, and you guys at Diesel Power Products. That, and then our social media handles are Dually Design CO, and that's for Instagram, Facebook, and then YouTube is DDC Wheels. We got about 3 videos loaded now, but we'll be working on more content for that as well.
Yeah, having
And
that
then,
the video
our toll-free
content for
number
people.
is 888-332-2580. Our local number is 406-800-1332, because we are based out of Montana with 1 area code.
Nice.
And listen, at the end of the day, if I can say something real quick,
Yeah.
We invite anybody to call us. We love to talk to people. We love to go over it with you. We're not those guys that are going to put you on hold or send you through some automated anything. Please call. Any questions about anything, please call.
Good.
And you got the 3 of us. It's Steve, Blake, and Ryan. Like, we don't have some guy that just started with us 3 days ago from working the non-wheel industry side of it. You're going to get 3 of us every time you talk to us.
That's good.
Awesome.
That's one of the things that I think attracts people to calling us as well. Is a lot of times people think we're a lot bigger than we actually are, which is a good and a bad thing at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, but they're always amazed, like, oh, didn't I talk to you? Like, yeah, we've talked the last 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same guy over and over again. Like, I didn't even have to ask for you. Yeah.
It's
What's
like,
up,
yeah,
man?
Roger.
Yeah.
You talked, Roger.
Yeah. You don't remember me? I've been knitting you a blanket
For the last 3 weeks.
We're that kind of good creepy. All right, so
Two real quick, sorry, and then I'll shut my mouth. Again, I'm the one that the only thing that works is my lips. But we don't sell tires, we don't do any of that stuff, but we know a lot about tires, so we can help you with that too, right? Whether if you're buying through the Diesel Podcast or the Diesel Power What am I getting? Diesel Power Products. I'm stuttering over here like I'm drunk. I haven't started drinking yet. We can help you with it. We can help you with the tire sizes and walk you through everything that you're doing with a truck. Some guys don't have to have that much load carrying capacity. Other guys are terrified of it. So we've got our cheat sheets. We know what tires carry what, single and dual. We're dialed in.
That's actually one of the things that I definitely want to touch on for the next episode because, like I mentioned to the listeners, everybody, we're doing this every quarter. I want to get into. I know you guys don't sell tires, which means you probably can make some pretty good recommendations because you're not gonna. You don't have any. I wouldn't say loyalties, but like you're not gonna offend because you can give the real deal.
Yeah, there's no it works. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to next episode. I want to dive deep into tires that you have found that were good on. Like, just what are the little random odds and ends that you find? Like, oh, on this GM truck, we just find that this tire just has a horrible harmonic resonance in the front. Like, just don't even do it. Like, just I don't know what it is. Like, that's what I want to dive into next episode.
Okay, we're down for that.
Hell
Just
yeah!
to throw a quick at it, real quick. I mean, we try to only run Toyota and recommend. Same thing with those guys. They go up to like 22 and 20 with a ton of different sizes. And that's well, forget the fact that they're some of the best tires on the planet, but they have a lot of good things going for them.
Yeah,
but we can dive deep into that one on the next one.
Yeah, I will say we are pretty deep in the Nitto stuff.
Yeah,
but we've run Toyota stuff in the past myself. Anyways, that's gonna be it, guys. Everybody, Ryan, Blake, and Steve, I greatly appreciate you guys being on. Steve, I appreciate you that you made it and missed Matlock for us.
I'm sitting on the desk, my friend. It's sitting right here. He's sipping away.
I don't know if you heard that, but I just fell out of my chair.
I'm really trying to make sure the first time me and Steve meet face to face, he gives me one of those like old time sailor punches right in the face. I was like, all right, now we can be friends.
Well, I'm waiting for that.
You're going to be pissed at me and Ryan for when you meet Steve for seeing how old he is. That's what it's going to be like. Like, oh, thanks, guys. You walked me right down that rabbit hole, huh?
Okay. All right, guys. Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for DDC for being on our first phone interview podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Hope it sounds good. Thanks for everything, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that would be the end of the episode where we will cut everything on there. Dude, that was fantastic, guys. I appreciate it.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Next time, I say this every time to these two guys. They're my two best friends in the world. I love them actually more than my two brothers, and fuck those two guys. But I tell them all the time, I need to shut the fuck up and stop talking. They never. So next time, you guys don't talk to me. Just talk to Steve and Ryan because I never shut the fuck up.
It was fine, but it always reminds me of that song. Let me tell you about my best.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to mute Blake's microphone next time. So every time, nope.
Absolutely.
I think we should just let Blake go. I mean,
by the way, the fucks and shits were limited, but I do get
totally fine.
I think Tyler, you were the only one that said fuck.
I did. I said fuck. Yeah.
I think I did once.
Yeah.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, that was still PG-13.
They haven't caught us yet. They haven't caught on to our...
Yeah, we haven't got the little red E yet, so we're going to keep pushing it along and see what happens.
You don't know where the line's at until you go past it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Boys?
Yeah, well, gentlemen, I appreciate you again making the time. And I'll get
on
with
a
Ryan.
Monday.
Yeah, on a Monday of all days. And I'll get with Ryan and we'll get some on the books for the next one.
Sounds good.
I can't wait to run into Paul Rutledge at SEMA. He's going to be like, oh, that's right. It's not live yet, but I'll let him know he's on the podcast.
Yeah. Let him know. Yeah. Tell him to just kind of do better. Yeah. You can tell him I said that.
Just do better.
Yeah. All right.